Hi, I'm Hal Millen, instructor for the CST 311 online course, Introduction to Computer Networking. The majority of labs you will be working on in our class will be using a network emulator called Mininet. This video is to guide you through the installation process on a Windows 10 machine. This video is an update of a similar video produced by Professor Mike McCann, who has taught both the face-to-face and online versions of this class. For this class, you'll be running Mininet in a Linux virtual machine, which we'll call a Mininet VM. This VM will be managed by a hypervisor, Oracle's VirtualBox. Although you could use other hypervisors, I encourage you to use VirtualBox because I have tested the labs with these products. The installation steps are, first, download and unzip the Mininet emulator, which is packaged with the Linux virtual machine. Next, download and install VirtualBox. Third step will be to import the Mininet VM into VirtualBox. Then, configure the Mininet VM for access via SSH. And finally, test by logging into the VM. Okay, let's get started by going to the mininet.org homepage. Scroll down further in the page and click on the Get Started link. This brings you to the download page. Choose option 1, which is the easy and recommended Mininet VM installation. In step 1, click on the Mininet releases. You will see a GitHub page with the heading Mininet 2.3.0. Scroll down the page till you see Assets. Choose the fourth file, which is the 64-bit version running under Ubuntu 20.04.1. This is the version that has been tested for the labs in this class. While this is downloading, go back to the download page under option 1 and go to step 2 and select VirtualBox. Click on the VirtualBox link. It will bring you to the Oracle VirtualBox page. And just scroll down to the VirtualBox platform packages and make sure you select the proper one for your host computer. Extracting the Mininet VM zip files gives you a folder with 2 files inside. One of these files has an OVF extension. With this, you can now import the VM into the VirtualBox Manager. Start VirtualBox. Click on the file selection on the menu in the upper left-hand corner. In the pull-down menu, select Import Appliance. Now navigate to the directory where you installed the Mininet VMs. And select the OVF file. Select Next. And import. The Mininet VM should be ready to use. You can turn on the VM by selecting the appliance and clicking the green arrow on the top right half of the screen. As the VM boots up, a console screen will appear and you will see a lot of messages on the screen. One of the messages indicates that an open SSH server is turning on. When the VM has finished booting, you can log on. You can clear the screen of this extra stuff. The default username is Mininet. And the password is Mininet. Although you can work from this screen, it can be very awkward. The console window is small, the mouse can be captured, and you can't copy and paste. So you'll want to access the VM via your host computer using an SSH client. There's a link to a short explanation of the SSH protocol in the Week 0 resources on Canvas. To use the SSH client, you will have to configure the VM's network adapter. With VirtualBox, a network adapter is a virtual network interface card. Note that you can make this change while the VM is running. The adapter type is called NAT, or Network Address Translation. With this type of adapter, the VM can initiate communications with outside hosts, but outside hosts, including your computer, cannot initiate communications with the VM unless some special configuration called port forwarding is used. So, go to the VirtualBox screen and click on the gear icon labeled Settings. Then select Network. Look at Adapter 1. Make sure the Enable Network Adapter box is checked. Make sure that you're attached to NAT. Now click on the small advanced arrow. The first thing to do is make sure the cable connected box is checked. It should be by default. Then click on the port forwarding box. You're going to add a rule by first clicking on the plus sign on the right. Let's call this rule SSH. We're going to have to change the host port and the guest port. For the host port, use port 2223. For the guest port, use port 22, which is the standard port for SSH. Click OK. OK. Now it's time to check this out. So open a Windows terminal session and type in the SSH command, SSH, and next the username at localhost. Localhost is the target computing running an SSH server. For the NAT adapter, you will be accessing the Mininet VM via your host computer's internal network stack. Hence, localhost is the computer name. Next, type in -P and the port you use for the host port. The -P flag indicates that the port number will follow. Hit enter. Since this is the first time you log onto this VM, you will get a warning message. SSH uses encryption keys, and the SSH client and server have not exchanged keys. You'll be asked this question, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes, no, fingerprint. Answer yes. Now you'll be asked for a password. Remember, the password is Mininet. You are now logged into the home directory for the user Mininet. When you finish working in the virtual machine, you want to close it down properly. So to exit the virtual machine, just type exit. We can close our terminal window. And we can bring up the console window. And here, just click on the X and tell it to send the shutdown signal. In Canvas in Week 0, there are links to videos that examine other SSH clients, such as PuTTY and MOBA Extern. This also talks about an X-Server software that you'll need to load to allow you to run GUI programs such as Wireshark on the virtual machine.